That garlic clove in your pantry could become 12 more in 3 months. Those green onion roots you tossed yesterday? They'd be regrowing infinitely on your windowsill right now. Your kitchen scraps aren't trash. They're an unlimited food source, and I'm about to show you exactly how to unlock it. Welcome to Earthly Gardening. If you're new, you're in the right place for budget-friendly growing tips. Returning viewers, thanks for coming back. Today we're revealing 10 crops that'll regrow themselves endlessly from scraps you already have. Quick favor, hit that like button right now and subscribe if you want more free food hacks. Bell icon too, because these tips are about to change your grocery bills forever. Let's jump in. Crop 1, green onions. Let's start with the absolute easiest win in your kitchen: green onions. You've probably been buying these weekly and tossing the white roots straight into the trash. Here's what the grocery stores don't want you knowing. Those roots are basically immortal. Next time you use green onions, cut them about an inch above those roots. Grab any jar or glass, fill it with water, and drop those white ends in. Place it on your windowsill where it gets decent light. Within 3 days, you'll see new green shoots pushing upward. Within a week, you've got harvestable onions again. Here's the beautiful part: you can keep cutting and they'll keep growing back. I've had the same green onion roots regrowing for 8 months straight. Just change the water every few days to keep it fresh, and you've got an endless supply. No soil needed, no fertilizer, just water and light. Want to level this up? After a few cycles, plant those roots in soil. They'll grow even stronger and you can harvest bigger portions. 1 bunch from the store can become 10 bunches in your garden. That's turning $2 into $20 worth of produce automatically. Crop 2, ginger. Ginger might seem exotic, but it's shockingly simple to regrow. If you've ever left ginger in your pantry too long, you've probably seen those little green buds forming. That's the plant trying to grow, and we're going to help it. Take a piece of ginger with visible growth buds, those little bumpy areas that look slightly different. Break it into pieces where each piece has at least 1 or 2 buds. Let these pieces sit overnight so the cut areas dry out slightly. This prevents rotting. Get a wide, shallow pot because ginger grows horizontally, not deep. Fill it with loose, well-draining soil. Ginger hates sitting in water. Plant your pieces about 2 inches deep with the buds facing upward. Water it well, then place it somewhere warm with indirect sunlight. Here's where patience pays off. Ginger takes a few weeks to sprout, but once it does, you'll see these gorgeous green shoots emerging. The magic happens underground where your original piece is multiplying like crazy. After 8 to 10 months, you can harvest. Carefully dig around and break off pieces while leaving some to continue growing. 1 grocery store ginger root becomes pounds of fresh ginger that's way more potent than anything you'd buy. Plus, those green shoots are edible too. They taste like mild ginger and look fancy in stir-fries. Crop 3, potatoes. Potatoes are basically edible plants that want nothing more than to make more potatoes. If you've ever forgotten potatoes in the cupboard and found them sprouting, congratulations, they were trying to feed you more potatoes. Those sprouts, which we call eyes, are baby potato plants. Cut your potato into chunks where each chunk has at least 2 eyes. Let these pieces dry for a day. This step is crucial because it toughens up the cut surface and prevents rot. Now you can go 2 routes. For containers, grab something at least 12 inches deep. Even an old bucket with drainage holes works perfectly. Put 4 inches of soil in the bottom. Place your potato pieces with eyes facing up, then cover with another 4 inches of soil. Here's the incredible part. As the plant grows, keep mounding more soil around the stems, leaving just the top leaves exposed. This is called hilling, and it encourages the plant to produce more potatoes along that buried stem. More buried stem equals more potatoes. Simple mathematics. In about 3 months, those leaves will start yellowing. That's your signal. Dig in and you'll find multiple potatoes where you planted 1 piece. I've gotten 15 potatoes from a single sprouted potato before. And guess what? You can save some of those new potatoes to plant again. It's a cycle that never has to end. Before we continue, I'm curious, which of these are you most excited to try? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you're getting value so far, go ahead and hit that like button. It takes 1 second but helps this channel grow tremendously. Now let's keep going because the next ones are even better. Crop 4. Celery. Celery is one of those vegetables that feels expensive for what you get. Here's the secret. That base you cut off and throw away is literally a new plant waiting to happen. Cut your celery about 2 inches from the bottom, right where all those stalks come together. You want that solid base intact. Put it in a shallow bowl with just enough water to cover the bottom half and don't drown it. Set this by a sunny window. Within days, you'll notice the center starting to change. Small yellow leaves appear first, then they'll turn green. The outer stalks might look rough or start decaying, that's normal. Those are sacrificing themselves to feed the new growth in the center. After about a week, when you see solid new growth, transfer it to soil. Plant it so the new leaves are just above the soil line. Keep the soil consistently moist because celery loves water. It's related to marsh plants, after all. In a couple months, you'll have full celery stalks growing. They might be slightly thinner than store-bought, but the flavor is often more intense. And those leaves? Don't ignore them. They're packed with celery flavor and perfect for soups, stocks, and seasoning. Most people buy celery and waste the leaves, but when you grow your own, you learn to use everything. Crop 5. Garlic. Garlic is pure multiplication magic. 1 clove becomes 1 bulb. 1 bulb contains about 10 cloves. You see where this is going? Exponential garlic. Take your garlic bulb and separate it into individual cloves. Keep the papery skin on each clove that's protective and actually beneficial. Look for the biggest, healthiest cloves because bigger cloves produce bigger bulbs. Plant them in fall for best results, but honestly, you can plant garlic almost any time. Push each clove about 2 inches deep into loose soil with the pointy end facing up. Space them about 6 inches apart. Water them in and then mostly forget about them. Garlic is incredibly low maintenance. It grows through winter in most climates, barely needing attention. In spring, you'll see green shoots coming up. When those shoots form curly tops called scapes, cut them off and eat them. They're delicious, and cutting them redirects energy into bulb formation. By summer, when the lower leaves start browning, it's harvest time. Dig carefully and you'll find that a single clove has become an entire bulb. Cure them by hanging in a dry, airy spot for a few weeks, and they'll last months in storage. Save your biggest bulbs for replanting, and the cycle continues forever. The math is wild here. 10 cloves planted become 10 bulbs. Those 10 bulbs contain 100 cloves total. Plant those and you've got 100 bulbs. 1 grocery store garlic bulb can theoretically become thousands in just a couple years. Crop 6. Lettuce. Lettuce is the ultimate gratification crop because it's fast and ridiculously easy. That stem base you cut off the part everyone throws out will grow new leaves almost immediately. Cut your romaine, butter lettuce, or any head lettuce about 2 inches from the bottom. Place that base in a shallow dish with ½ an inch of water. Put it somewhere with good light but not harsh direct sun that'll cook it. Change the water every day or 2 to keep it fresh. Within a week, you'll see new leaves forming from the center. They grow surprisingly fast and you can see visible progress daily. Now, here's the realistic truth. Regrowing lettuce in water won't give you a full head like you bought, but it absolutely will give you continuous salad greens for weeks. When the leaves are a few inches tall, harvest the outer ones and let the center keep producing. For a fuller harvest, transition it to soil after that initial water regrowth. Plant it shallow in rich soil and keep it consistently watered. It'll develop stronger, and you'll get much more leaf production. Even if you just keep it in water on your counter, you're getting free greens that would otherwise cost you several dollars each week at the store. Crop 7. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes take this list in an exciting direction because 1 sweet potato can produce enough baby plants to fill an entire garden bed. Get a sweet potato with some character, meaning it has visible eyes or is starting to sprout. Stick 4 toothpicks into it around the middle like you're making a weird potato spacecraft. Suspend it over a jar so the bottom third sits in water. Place it somewhere warm with decent light. Within a few weeks, sprouts will emerge from those eyes. These sprouts, called slips, will grow leaves and eventually roots in the water. This is wild to watch. It's like your potato is exploding with life. Once slips are about 6 inches long with several leaves. Twist them off the main potato. Each slip becomes an individual plant. Put these in water until they develop good roots. Then plant them in soil. Here's what blows my mind. Each planted slip will produce multiple sweet potatoes underground. So one grocery store sweet potato becomes 10 slips, and those 10 slips produce potentially 50 sweet potatoes. You've turned 1 into 50. That's not gardening, that's multiplication wizardry. Sweet potatoes need warm weather and about 4 months to mature, but they're worth the wait. Plus, those leafy vines are actually edible. They taste like spinach and are nutrient-dense. You're getting 2 crops from 1 scrap. Crop 8. Onions. Regular bulb onions work similarly to green onions, but with a twist. When an onion starts sprouting green from the top, something that happens when they sit too long, most people toss it. That's the exact moment it becomes most valuable for regrowing. Cut the onion in half horizontally. You'll see those green sprouts coming from the center. Plant these halves in soil, cut side down, with just the sprout tips poking above the surface. Or, if you want to watch the process, put them in shallow water first until roots develop strongly. The original onion will essentially sacrifice itself to feed multiple new onion plants growing from that center. It's like the mother ship sending out new vessels. After a few weeks in soil, you'll have green shoots that look like thick green onions. Here's your choice. Harvest these green shoots as scallions, or let them keep growing. If you wait several months, those plants will form new bulbs underground. They might be smaller than store-bought, but they're completely free and often have better flavor. You can also separate those multiple shoots once they're established and plant them individually. Each becomes its own onion plant. What started as 1 sprouted onion that would have gone into the trash becomes 3 or 4 new onions. The return on investment is infinite because your investment was literally 0. Crop 9. Basil. Fresh basil is expensive at the store. You're paying several dollars for a few sprigs. But basil propagates so easily it almost feels like cheating. When you buy fresh basil, don't use all the stems immediately. Take a few stems that are at least 4 inches long and remove the lower leaves, keeping just the top few sets of leaves. Place these stems in a glass of water on your windowsill. Within a week, you'll see tiny white roots forming along the submerged part of the stem. These roots grow fast. Once they're about 1 inch or 2 long, you can plant them in soil. Use light, well-draining potting mix and keep it consistently moist for the first week as the plant adjusts. Here's what makes basil incredible. It grows aggressively. Within a month, your single stem becomes a bushy plant. And here's the trick for endless basil. Never let it flower. When you see flower buds forming at the top, pinch them off. This forces the plant to put energy into leaf production instead of seeds. Every time you harvest, cut just above a leaf node where leaves meet the stem. 2 new branches will grow from that spot. Your plant becomes bushier with every harvest. 1 grocery store basil stem can become a plant that provides fresh basil for years if you bring it indoors during winter. Crop 10. Cilantro. Cilantro finishes our list, and it's perfect for anyone who loves fresh herbs but hates buying those expensive plastic containers that wilt in 2 days. Just like basil, take fresh cilantro stems at least 4 inches long. Strip the bottom leaves and place them in water. Cilantro is slightly slower to root than basil, taking about 2 weeks usually, but it absolutely works. Once roots develop, plant in soil and keep it well watered. Cilantro prefers cooler weather, so it's perfect for spring or fall growing. In hot summer, it tends to bolt, meaning it goes to flower and seed quickly, but that's actually not a problem. Here's the bonus. When cilantro bolts and produces seeds, those seeds are coriander. Yes, cilantro and coriander are the same plant. Let it flower, collect those seeds, and you've got cooking spice. Or, let some seeds drop naturally, and cilantro will reseed itself in your garden. It becomes a self-sustaining herb. The flavor of homegrown cilantro is noticeably more potent than store-bought. And because you can continually harvest from your plant, you'll always have fresh cilantro for tacos, salsa, curries, whatever you need. That $5 container from the store becomes years of free herbs. And there you have it, 10 crops that cost you absolutely nothing but give you endless harvests. These aren't complicated. You don't need fancy equipment or years of experience. You literally just need to stop throwing away the scraps you already have. Start with 1. My recommendation? Green onions in a jar of water. You'll see results in 3 days and it'll motivate you to try the rest. Before you know it, you'll have a whole system going where your kitchen waste becomes your food source. If you found this valuable, do me a favor and share this video with someone who's interested in gardening or wants to save money on groceries. And definitely hit that subscribe button because we've got more budget-friendly growing tips coming that'll blow your mind. Drop a comment telling me which crop you're trying first, and if you've already regrown something from scraps, share your experience. This community thrives on sharing knowledge, and I read every single comment. Thanks for spending time with me today on Earthly Gardening. Now go raid your kitchen, save those scraps, and start your free food revolution. I'll see you in the next one. Happy growing!